Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Chrono Cross. I am your host, MeleeWizard, and turns out, yes, I did check Opasa Beach, but I didn't check the other Opasa Beach. So let's just go ahead and head on over to the other one and see what we have there. So, yeah, final boss right here. But for the benefit of those who, care about the story and whatnot, I feel like talking to these three first. So you finally made it, Surge. When did this story tale all begin? Was it 10 years ago when you almost drowned here? Or was it 14 years ago when you were wounded by that panther demon that attacked you, resulting in you being carried to Chronopolis, where you came into contact with fate and the frozen flame? Or perhaps it was even 2,400 years in the future, when the time crash hurled Chronopolis back to prehistoric times. Or even it could have been 12,000 BC, when an ancient magical kingdom met its end after trying to use Lavos. Each is close to being correct, and yet at the same time so far from the right answer. The true beginning was during the destruction of the ancient kingdom of Zeal. As the palace collapsed around her, Princess Shala was sucked into a dimensional vortex along with the Lavos Mammon machine. Shala and Lavos became unified into one even more powerful entity that would evolve into the Devourer of Time. Filled with the hatred and sadness of Lavos, half of Shala's mind became set on destroying all of existence. Yet at the same time, the other half of her mind desired to save the universe and to be rescued herself. As Shala fell through the time gate in this condition, she heard your crying echoing through time. That is when her story and yours began to intertwine. It is also when the past and the future began to intersect and when the world became divided into two. Led by the pitiful crying the young Surge made as the panther demon's poison took hold of him, Princess Shala traveled 10,000 years in time to try and make contact with this dimension. This caused a raging magnetic storm that resulted in Fate's system malfunction, which led Surge to the frozen flame. Yes, Surge, the sound of your crying touched the heart of Princess Shala. Before the destructive mindset could become dominant, she cloned herself and sent her copy into this dimension. Shala left her baby daughter clone with her ancient pendant possessing magical powers. This was to safeguard her daughter clone in life and death situations. The pendant would rewind time a little, sending her daughter clone into a safer point in the immediate past. Either way, nothing changes what you have become. You're still my precious little sister, kid. And now, about Project Kid, the time control project Balthazar planned out. The whole project existed to lead you to this one special point in time. The founding of Chronopolis, the time crash, and the battle between Fate and the Dragon Gods. It was all coordinated so that you would get your hands on the Chrono Cross and come to this place. Of course, Kid was not to know anything about this whole plan until later when all of this will finish. Further in the future, Kid is meant to travel back 10 years in time from now to save Surge from drowning. And then Kid was also meant to call Surge into the other world as he spoke with Lena here on Opasa Beach. You are our last hope, our final chance. Only you, who came into contact with Shala and Kid, Shala's clone daughter, can do it. In the darkness that exists on the other side of time, Shala has been integrated with the Devourer of Time. Please, Surge, release Princess Shala from the binds of that monster and her own hatred. Show us, the life forms that exist on this planet, what our new future will be. Okay then. What? Where even angels lose their way. 10 years ago, you died at this very spot. There's no mistake. You drowned. The truth is, this world in which you are still alive is the irregularity. This is the false reality. 10 years ago, it was Lynx who tried to kill you at this beach. After Prometheus broke the link between fate and the flame, fate tried to eliminate any obstacle that stood in its way. In the meantime, the six dragons had sent Harl forth to try and gain possession of the flame. Harl made contact with Fate's biological incarnation, Lynx, and tricked him into temporarily joining forces. The elimination of the Prometheus circuit's lock on the frozen flame was everyone's top priority. Lynx and Harl abducted Luca, who alone could release the Prometheus lock that guarded the flame. But the whole attempt only ended in failure. Then they just waited for you to appear instead. You see, Fate calculated that you would one day cross the dimensions and try to make contact with the flame. I don't know how to break this to you, but Lynx was actually your father, Wazuki. Drawing closer to the flame caused him to become unstable, and the image of you dying in terror changed him completely. Finally, after having his psyche totally eroded, he lost his soul and was easily integrated by Fate. Fate turned Wazuki into a biological interface, modeling him after your worst fear at the time, a panther. Although Wazuki managed to escape from Chronopolis with you, he later completely succumbed to fate. Humans are such fragile, disjointed, imperfect things. Love and hate, life and death. Perhaps even fate itself dreamed of using the flame to someday reincarnate itself into a new species. It is quite sad, really. It's like when you gaze into the flame gazes back into you. A new species is about to be born on this planet. An alien life form even more evolved than the old Lavos. At the darkness beyond time, the weakened Shala came under the influence of Lavos, and the two became one entity. It is now up to you, the one whom the frozen flame has chosen as its arbiter. You alone can decide how the new Lavos, which has encaged Shala within it, will evolve from here. Your actions will determine whether in the future all time is devoured by Lavos, sending the world into everlasting death. Balthazar foresaw this was going to happen in his world in the year 2300, and he was determined to prevent it from happening, no matter what it took. The Chrono. It alone can combine the sounds of the planet that the six types of elements produce. The melody and harmony that brim within all life forms. Use the song of life to heal her enmity and suffering. We entreat you, Surge. Please save Shala. So, do I even have the Chrono Cross? It appears I do not. Yeah, it would appear I do not. I can still beat the final boss, but I guess, but from what I read, I won't be getting the quote-unquote good ending from it. So, what I'm doing is I'm thinking about just giving at least a couple people improved stamina recovery. At least a couple. Improves evade. I'm not sure how much evade will matter here. Yeah, I think that's the one I can. That's the least amount of loss, I guess. Don't I have another one of these things somewhere? There it is. So I figure, being able to have my actions come a little bit sooner, that might make all the difference. It's these to the darkness of time. It appears that the time has finally come to settle everything. Yep. Yep, and straight in we go. Oh boy. I want to check something real quick. You are a white element. I just want to see if a white spell will heal you or not. Because that will make us... No, it does not. Okay. Figured I would try it with a weaker spell, just so I don't... you know, have something bad happen in that regard. Okay. Seems like a good idea to maybe try to set up the fancy yellow field sooner rather than later, just so I can get that out of the way. But I think it'd probably be a good idea just to have you heal yourself, just so nothing bad happens in that regard. Who are you aiming that at? Ow. Yeah, that is definitely an ow. This is why I have the healing, though I contemplated maybe go out buying more and having that adequate, but carnivore. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Now that you've attacked, I'll just go ahead and get that going. I know I have the Saints move from, that's basically the white equivalent, but I don't have Whitefield, and from what I understand, Whitefield doesn't actually exist. So I would have to get a full Whitefield the hard way, which doesn't seem like it'd be that feasible. Good damage. Good damage. Heal all. There we go. Omega green again. Thankfully, you didn't aim it at Sniff, so that's fine. Wish I had more free falls, but because I'm sure that would have done more damage than that. Yeah, I'll have you heal Riddell real quick. definitely using a whole lot of green moves. I'm wondering why. I already used the heal all. Oh. I have that still. I think I'll just use a Cure Plus for them for the moment. Okay, Aeroblaster's fine. That's not a... That still did that much to sniff, dang it. Yeah, just... Damage! And now you're starting to use other things. Yep. Now is the time for Snake Eyes. I think having the stamina recovery up is already paying off big right now. Sure. I have free fall on that highest slot for a reason. Uh-oh. Okay, okay. Dang it. I feel like I should have invested in more Cure Pluses, but... Thing is, if he ended up in his low HP phase, would I even notice? That is my main question right now. Omega Yellow. Perfect one to use it on. Perfect one to use it on. How much do I have for... I don't really have much else for... Well, I do have heals still. I'm hesitant to be using more of my mass targeting heals, because it feels like I'll eventually run out, and then that'll be the point where I really, really need them. Oh, come on. this is gonna hurt. Mostly sniff, but yes, it did still hurt. No, not the time for that. I'll have you use that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You still have high-end attacks that I should be using. Omega Red! I really should have invested in more Cure Pluses. Oh dear. Why am I missing so often? Ice Lance. I think that's... Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Gravity Blow just isn't cutting it. There's a Mega Yellow, and I think that's gonna kill Riddell. Yes, it did. How much health do you have? Obvious answer, way too much. Should I have revived then? Yes, yes, I should have. There we go. Ah, I do have another Cure Plus on hand. Okay. Yeah. I don't even know how close I am to beating you. Oh! Gotcha! Whew! The fact that I still had some healing left over, actually... If he actually had a low HP state, I did not notice it. Whew. That felt tense, but I had enough damage to win the day. And yeah, technically that was a bad ending, because apparently I was supposed to actually have the Chrono Cross, which apparently I never actually got. Not sure what I was supposed to do to get it, but there you go. And from what I read, apparently just having that would not have been enough. Apparently I would have had to use all of the elements in a specific order. Which, yeah, I don't remember what that order is off the top of my head, so I don't even know if I would have had to have those notes on hand in order to even accomplish that. And that's assuming that the actions of the Time Devourer wouldn't interfere with that. But, you know, it's done. This was definitely an interesting thing. The combat system was quite interesting. It took a moment to get used to, but once I did, I was able to accomplish a good bit. Did I have all the best of the resources? No. Is that surprising? Also, no. And, yeah, I feel like I would have enjoyed this game a bit more if it wasn't for a certain person who shall remain nameless. Or not. Because said person appeared to go out of their way not only to spoil future events, but to basically say, this is what you should be using, this is the characters you should be using, and apparently I am a horrible, horrible person for, not doing that. Goodness knows at some point the biggest reason why I kept Snef in the party was to spite you. Because this is my playthrough. This is the first time I've played this game. I don't know where anything is. I don't know where anyone is. I don't know who's good. I don't know who's bad. I'll use whoever the heck I want, use whatever the heck I want, and you know what? I beat the game because of it. Who freaking cares how? So, Unfortunately, because of that, of said person, it also led to me pretty much largely ignoring the comment section for half this project, so any people actually contributing anything useful or, being supportive and whatnot were largely ignored as well. Such is life. What other things that I did kind of come across, there is a New Game Plus to this, which isn't that surprising considering the series it's a part of. Apparently, from what I read, when you start New Game Plus, you get an item that basically lets you start this one fight I just did whenever you want. And apparently the ending you get changes depending on when you do it. Like, you get an ending if you basically do it right off the bat, like at the first possible moment. And apparently it changes if you do it at other stages of the game, I guess. And I'm really not paying attention to the cinematics going on right now, because I'd probably be just look at it and say, hey, that's neat, and just not, that's about it. So, yeah. That was a thing. Was it stressful at times? Yes. Was it self-inflicted? Also, yes. But I got it done. And that's really all that matters. And so, once again, this world, if not other worlds, have been saved from the forces of evil. For now. One day, a new evil will make itself known, and when that day comes, I will be here. So until then, this is MeleeWizard, and have a nice day.